goodness, Monkley with the dive.
What a beautiful charge dash from Meldon to save him, that bastard.
Is that bastard?
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Meldon gets it.
Oh, this is fine. What a save.
Oh, he makes it flat.
Oh my god, nice.
Hi everyone. Normally I would open with like a good evening or a good morning or something like that, but I don't even know what time it is. Here on the west coast of the US it's midnight, but on the east coast it's 4 p.m. or 4 a.m. which isn't normal, and in other parts of the world, like the ones that these two runners that you're about to see are from, it is midday, it's morning, it's evening, who cares, whatever. Y'all are in for some good action here tonight. We're back with the Oriole Skills Tournament, and we've got the number 8 seed CheeseLover versus the number 25 seed LostDedew. My name is Wilgen. I'm here with Fant. Fant, how are you doing?
Oh man, I am so looking forward to really any match that's coming from this bracket. This is the near division, and don't let those seed numbers fool you. You know, CheeseLover seed number 8, LostDedew number 25. That's who we'll be seeing in a short amount of time. These runners, all 4 of them in the group, that includes Steinman and Trojan Dude as well, are so incredibly close, like in their PBs and their sum of best. I mean, this division could go really anywhere between these runners.
Yeah, that's definitely right. CheeseLover, of course, seed number 8. He managed to take a 3-0 record in his group to make it here as one of the top seeds in the tournament. And he's got a 31.09 PB. On the other side, Dedew, seed number 25, he finished 2-1 in his group, behind someone that I can find out if I look up the thing. But he has a 32.12. It's only a difference of 1 minute between their PBs. And Dedew, as we found out, his sum of best is actually already down in the low 30s. So he is definitely capable of just busting out a really great time here at any moment. You know, maybe the consistency being that bugaboo for him, but you never know when that's gonna that wall will just fall down and he might just rattle off a really great time. Could be here today, Fan.
Yeah, it could be. But, you know, CheeseLover is no slouch. You know, since he got back into the groove of Ori, Cheese has just been putting up insane times. You know, he took the upset over Monkley in the group stage and brought him as the top seed in this division.
And of course, it's always funny when we say that word upset. Of course, CheeseLover was seated behind Monkley in the group when seedings were made, but now his PB is only 10 seconds behind Monkley. They were actually trading back and forth for a little while. Dedew, of course, with the 32. The other top upper bracket players in this division, as we mentioned, Trojan Dude and Steinman. Trojan having a 31.30 and Steinman having a 30.59. So all of these runners having absolutely impressive times. I'm very excited to see what we're going to have between Cheese and Dedew as they're going to get started just a few moments here as we get the bird swoosh.
It's not
All
a
right.
real thing.
No, definitely not. Here we go. We're going to get started with the action. This is our round of 64. I'll just briefly bring you up to speed if you don't recall how our bracket works. This is a partial double elimination bracket. These players are in the upper bracket, but the lower half of the players from the groups, instead of being eliminated as in most other tournaments, they actually went to the lower bracket directly. So everybody gets to participate, and these runners they will have a second chance even if they take the loss here today. But to start, we're not going to know how that's going to play out because this early section is pretty similar for both runners, and so far it's pretty much frame for frame as we would expect.
Looks like just a very, very slight edge for Dedew, but you know, nothing really out of the ordinary here.
I believe
Both
the joke
runners.
earlier was like, "Oh, it's over now. It's decided."
Yeah. There's no coming back. You know, those 5 frames. There are no tricks in this game that cost you 5 frames.
Oh gosh.
So CheeseLover running on KBM can get some really nice shots going around. LostDedew is going to pause for a little bit to get the extra shots, and they're just really, really hard to time two perfectly paced shots that CheeseLover is able to do. But still makes it through at okay pace.
Yeah, and Dedew playing on the controller as his input method of choice means that just a couple slight differences. One of those is it's a little bit harder to get out that perfect shot timing. I'm taking a little bit of damage from that the bramble on that jump pad. Even after you kill it, the hitbox lingers for just a few moments, and you took a little bit of damage from that. Now, they do want some damage, but that particular one's kind of annoying. It just slows you down for just a moment. But otherwise, things are going all right here. Cheese opening up maybe a 2-ish second lead. Oh, okay, maybe 4.
Yeah, Dedew didn't pull back the block far enough, but he did get a health drop from those brambles there, so he'll be able to damage the boost through this line here and perform his ghost door with 1 HP.
Yep, it's nice and quick for Cheese to do. Gonna take a swim in the water there as well, and his was also 1 HP, so not too bad. Cheese opening up again that couple seconds lead, but many things can change that. In the early going here, though, not too many, so we'll expect to see Cheese be able to carry this likely all the way through the wall jump tree for a skill, and hopefully, nothing crazy will happen. This is definitely a section of the game where, it's easy to lose small amounts of time, but it's also, if you get a little bit overzealous, it's easy to lose a huge amount of time with the death as well.
LostDedew taking a hit on the slime in there to the second keystone. Checks his health to make sure he still has at least 3 HP. You see a lot of runners trying to damage boost through this bramble set that CheeseLover just passed through. And yeah, Dedew takes the damage boost sitting at 1 HP. We'll get 1 from the flower here. This can still be a little scary. Sometimes if your movement's a little off, that slime can snipe you, but no issue for either runner here.
Yeah, unfortunately, they're both making it to wall jump just fine. She's coming in a little bit earlier. Dedew coming in right behind him, though. And we will be seeing the 321 for the wall jump on CheeseLover, and Dedew coming in just 4 seconds behind, so a very narrow deficit right now, and certainly not insurmountable, as we're going to begin the next segment of the game for heading for the dash skill. Also a segment where there's a lot of opportunity for huge time loss if you're just not quite careful.
I know. I do want to at least make one comment on just the extraordinary time that this match is taking place. So, for those of you unfamiliar, daylight savings time switches over at 2 a.m. on Sunday in the U.S. So it's currently 4 a.m. on the East Coast, midnight on the West Coast. There's only 3 hours in the entire year where there's this much of a time difference between the two. I just find that kind of interesting.
Not only that, but these runners, CheeseLover is based out of New Zealand and Dedew is based out of France, and it is not daylight savings time switch for either of them. In fact, Australia and New Zealand, I believe, both go the other direction in the near future, but not this time. Anyway, it's horribly confusing. Time zones are awful. Both runners are making their way back to BRB, and they're both having a pretty clean path here with not really a lot of problems. Cheese setting up his save anywhere on the teleporter there, and his cutscene skip looks totally good. And Dedew is setting his up as well. You get to see the XP count from Dedew right there, saying that it's 40 XP to level. We'll see how he chooses to approach that. Different runners will have different ways of managing their XP in Blackroot Burrows. We'll also see if Cheese, well, he isn't apparently opting for a genocide route, so he'll just be
Smart
doing
man.
100 XP. Dude, I agree.
So yeah, Dedew picked up Spirit Magnet, so gonna pick up a total of 36 experience from all of these slimes. 24 if he does not do the save and reload at the beginning. Of course, the save and reload. Oh no! The safety save coming in handy, Dedew. Wow.
Yeah, that could have been a real bad situation. Obviously, still pretty bad. You don't want that death. It's pretty costly, but not as costly as it would have been had he gone back all the way to the beginning of the dungeon area. As Cheese is making his way up the lasers, and he opted not to bother with any save and reload. Neither is Dedew. They're just going with march through the area and get the cycle that they get. So that gives them a lot of leeway on getting to those platforms in time before they go away. Even now, Dedew can wait on these platforms and still be fine. He'll be able to catch the cycle that he wanted.
Yep, there it is. Yeah, that last laser, as you go up that little shaft there, the lasers activate much more frequently, so it can be scary at times if you're not entirely confident in the cycle that you've gotten.
Yeah, it takes a lot of everyone's favorite thing, practice, of this area to just get used to.
Who wants to practice BRB? Come on.
No one does. Even people who have practiced it don't want to practice it. But you do have to get used to those laser cycles and the platform cycles and kind of figure them out at some point. And both these runners, with the times that they have, they are in the class of people that they've done some learning and they know what's going on here. Meanwhile, Cheese is dropping down for his cutscene skip here. This one is to avoid having to wait all the way for the darkness to reveal the dash tree here, and by glitching this out with a save anywhere, he saves the game and will make his way over the dash tree and just, voila, reveal the lights.
This is a really solid dash time for CheeseLover here.
Yeah, holy crap. I didn't even notice. That was a 7-12 dash. You can see, look at his mouse movements over there. He's very excited. 7-12 is an incredibly good dash time. And Dedew coming in about 15 seconds behind, so still, within reach, but the deficit widening just a little bit. She's able to take advantage of that one death by Dedew and just maybe a little more optimal.
Yeah. Cheese was probably really excited because that dash split put him at 3 seconds ahead of his PB. Could have been a gold split for him there, who knows?
Well, better not get ahead of yourself too much, because dash is still very early in the game. There's lots of opportunities for bad stuff, but we will certainly be hoping for that not to happen to either runner. Cheese now working on the Frankie walk. Looks like he got pretty good jumps by the Frankie, but he may get the little bonk. There's this slightly more optimal jumping you can get where that Frankie, instead of bonking off the ceiling, he just bonked off with jump a little higher, but he didn't. It's no problem. Just cost one extra jump, about 2 seconds.
Here we go. CheeseLover's made it into the death con. Ooh, took a jump there. When you jump onto that crusher, there is a chance that you get 1 frame and die. So that was pretty risky for Cheese there.
He made it through safely though, and he's into the Moon Grotto. Will he drop a safety save? Yeah, there it is. Dedew making his Death Gauntlet play right now, and gets across. He's going for a Death Glide as well. Cleanly executed, takes some damage, but he'd actually just picked up health refill. Cheese's early Grotto cycle is successful.
Oh, and he is excited.
Oh, I think he might be actually a little bit panicky because that looked real close to a 1 frame. Lots of 1 frame deaths possible in this game.
And unfortunately, Dedew just narrowly misses it.
That's not the worst. It's only 8 seconds. It certainly doesn't help him catch up to Cheese right now, who is still on a blistering pace. It's an under 920 double jump, which again is just a very, very good time. Dedew's gap has widened even further as a result of the missed cycle there, so it's probably going to be like a 940 double jump for him or so.
Yeah, Cheese just putting on a clinic in the early game here. So far, really no mistakes. Just like minor inoptimizations and movement, but man.
Well, as you see on our little stats pop up there, Cheese has been having some trouble with Grotto skip in the tournament. There's one example right there. That's 1 miss for Cheese so far, and Dedew's gonna be hoping for that, but he does get it on the 2nd try. So now Dedew's got to make sure that he capitalizes on that opportunity to just save a little bit of the time in that deficit by getting a 1st try Grotto skip. We'll see how that goes.
Oh man, that's a little scary. Dedew missed the 2nd dash glide going over that pile of, I don't even know what that enemy's called, but you know the one. Let's see if Dedew can get it 1st try, and he does, so a little bit of time save there from over CheeseLover there.
Well, shoutouts to Hobbs in the truck with the flavorful messages on the stats. Dedew's average on Grotto skip does beat Cheese's and continues to beat Cheese's as he gets it on the 1st try, but meanwhile Cheese is just absolutely blazing a path through this early game. This pace is low 30 caliber right now for Cheese, as this is something I think we've seen from him a lot. A bit of a messy menu there for Dedew, but he seems to be okay. He's been just putting up very good pace runs, but the thing that he's gonna be worried about and that we're gonna have to keep an eye on is he has been losing a lot of those paces late in the game, and really going to hope to not see something come like kind of just fall apart as he gets to Sora or something like that.
Yeah, Cheese's early game is pretty incredible. This is going to be a very low 12-minute intergenso time, which, for those of you unfamiliar, is really, really good.
Yeah, I mean, when we're rattling off these like numbers of like, oh man, it was sub such and such time, obviously, of course, if you're a speedrunner, you kind of get the idea of what those numbers are, but in particular, like my PB is a 30-32, and so like all these times that Cheese is managing are like on par with numbers that I use to judge my PB attempts, and he's just rattling them off here. This is gonna be sub 12 Ginso entry right here. If he gets in, it's 12 flat. That is incredible.
Yeah, Cheese's PB at that point is 12 minutes 1 second, so he's still keeping up incredibly good pace.
Yeah, there's wow, just the words to describe whenever a runner is able to perform close to their PB pace, it's impressive. But especially if you're in that 31 or lower range, like it's really hard to be this fast early in this game. And having to stop up a little bit there, it's going to cost him a couple of seconds. Oh, that's going to cost him more than a couple of seconds. He takes a fall, but manages to recover, giving Dedew a little bit of room to narrow that deficit, but he's still ahead, and that's really all that matters. This is a bracket match, so all that matters is the winner. Time really does not matter.
Dedew on blistering pace as well. I've been commenting on how good Cheese has been so far this race, but Dedew is no slouch. These are really, really impressive times.
Yeah, we're hearing that Dedew's his enter Ginso segment here, or sorry, split here, new best for him in the tournament by about 10 seconds. And, that's just showing, like, his progress with his game over the course of this tournament. He's gotten better and better. He's obviously down to the 32 mark on his PB, but also his no reset performance here is really good. She's entering the mini-boss, and he's going to be making use of that scroll wheel. Again, that's something we're not going to be seeing from Dedew, most likely, because he almost entirely uses controller. So we'll almost certainly just be seeing controller mashing from him. But she's getting a little bit trolled by some of these positions. He still gets a pretty fast mini-boss, and he'll move on. Some intentional damage to manipulate his HP for a ghost to recover.
Yeah, we called Dedew a hybrid runner, switching between KBM and controller at points, but really for Dedew it's like 99% controller. There's a couple menu wings that he likes to do on keyboard just because navigating through the ability menu can be a pain on controller. With KBM you can just point to your skill or ability and level it up. That looked like a 5 cycle from Dedew there, so very, very clean for controller shooting.
Yeah, you had a pretty good time with that mini-boss in Ginso. As she just comes up to the bash tree, and again, still on incredible pace. That one looked slightly less incredible of a time than previously, but still very, very good. And he now begins the bash section of the game, which is really kind of where the game gets real, if you will. Things become very difficult. You have to start incorporating very precise mouse movement or analog stick usage, depending on your input method. She's going for this top level save here as well, which is always cool to see. Gets a little bit of a troll from the friendly spikes there. He doesn't take the damage that he was expecting to take.
But man, Dedew has caught up quite a bit and had a much cleaner first half of Ginso than Cheese did. Just one reload really ahead. CheeseLover has duped his keys. Dedew going for the same save, but gets it without having to worry about it. And man, just continuing to bite on the heels of CheeseLover.
And you see both of these runners doing some very impressive strats. Dedew hesitating very slightly over that one lantern, but he manages to salvage that without dying, which is really the thing that matters. And he is now on to his recollection of the keys as his dupe is complete. His dedupe. Yeah, I know, it's bad. Look, it's like 12:20, alright? Anyway, CheeseLover, mini-boss, there was one, there's not one anymore. And he's heading to the Moon Grotto teleporter.
And Dedew still gaining time. Wow, this is crazy. I'm not sure if Cheese is watching the stream or not, but seeing Dedew like constantly gaining little bits of time to keep looking over. That's got to be scary if he is.
Yeah, that's a good question that we certainly would like to know the answer to, but we might find out just by watching Cheese's play. Sometimes you can just kind of see it in the way people are approaching their gameplay. Dedew mostly probably is not watching. I believe he didn't watch in the group stage, but I'm just kidding because our stats folks actually know these things and they correct us that he is watching. So you do see Dedew skipping the blind movement here in the cutscene that Cheese did.
And oh no!
Oh, Cheese dunking the frog. He has to take a death.
And
Dedew,
just like that, Dedew takes, not quite the lead.
no, he's right there though.
Oh my god. But CheeseLover taking a bath. Oh, but Dedew gets a trash bash. Oh
Gosh,
no.
it's the worst. Cheese now has the projectile in position, gets the double bashes. He is in. Now Dedew's got to take another attempt at this, so not quite able to fully narrow that gap, but boy, he made up a lot of it. And if he's able to get a clean swamp entry, he's going to make up a little bit more overall. He should still be pretty close behind Cheese.
Yes, I did mention Trash Bash. For those of you who don't know what that is, that's really a controller exclusive issue. And you aim your bashes with the analog stick, and when you release it for like a bash glide, sometimes it can flip the other direction with the momentum of the analog stick as you release it. It can be very, very frustrating.
Yep. Flip the opposite direction or some random direction. Dedew taking a very interesting damage boost there. Possibly salvaging a slightly low bash, so that was pretty clever. And he's into the stomp tree just as Cheese is leaving it. We'll see if we can get an update on that the deficit, but it looks like around 15 seconds or so, which is not bad considering what it was before. Dedew still closing little bits of the gap here. Cheese, meanwhile, still maintaining pace with his PBs, 12 seconds behind it right now.
Just 20 seconds separating the runners here. That's if Cheese misses a Kuro cutscene skip. I mean, we know he hasn't missed it yet this tournament. He's really good. But if he does and Dedew gets it, we're practically tied.
That's certainly not the way that Cheese would hope that it'll turn.
And there we go.
Yep, so he just bashes straight through a cutscene trigger that, again, if you're a casual viewer, it's hard to know is even there. Cheese is taking this HP cell here. I don't know what Dedew was planning as far as health, but we'll see if this presents kind of a little bit of a fake deficit adjustment as Dedew's going for his Kuro cutscene skip, and his is good too.
Yeah, Cheese, of course, wants to be the first runner ever to get a 29 by grabbing that health cell.
Ooh. She's getting a little scared there too on the spikes right above this fifth energy. Dedew's right behind him because Dedew is not going for that HP cell. So that means he will only have 4 health when he gets to Sorrow Bass, as opposed to Cheese, who will have 5. We'll hope that that won't make a difference, because I really hate to see Dedew take any deaths. It would kind of mar his performance, but both runners still playing really well. Oh no, the Frankie. Come on down, buddy.
Frankie is down. Yeah, everything, all the spikes in Sorrow Pass deal 4 or more damage. So CheeseLover will have the luxury of taking one hit, particularly like on the Sorrow Bash method, or rocket jumping up to the top and accidentally angling a little bit off, but hopefully Dedew will not have to worry about that.
Interesting thing, Cheese actually did not get the dash glide over the spirit well here. There's a slowdown zone on that cutscene that they both just skip using a save anywhere. You can do a dash glide over the cutscene trigger to save a little bit of time, but actually neither runner got it. So neither Cheese didn't get it, and Dedew didn't even go for it. So an opportunity for a little bit of time save there for Dedew, but I don't think his strats include that. So not really affording him that opportunity for real.
CheeseLover heading up, going to be performing his best attempt at fast stopless. He gets it. We'll say 15 seconds. If not, has to go hunt for another ability cell, or come all the way back up here again to do this the intended way.
As you see on the overlay there, his success rate of this trick is 100% of the tournament so far, and he had a good shot, it looked like. He is getting up to the ability cell in time. No problem there. Dedew picking up a charge dash a little bit early, and he will be going for his stompless attempt, and he has a success rate of about 66%. That shot actually looks okay. The angle is a little bit like it seems weird, but I think it's all right. He's getting up to the cell, and
Oh,
he.
okay, all right.
Whew.
And like he bonked on the edge of that platform a little bit. I was wondering if he was going to make it in time, but he did, thankfully.
All right, well, we're still separated by just a very small amount of time. Sarabash, yet another of the tricks that can easily make a big difference here. Cheese is going for that right now as he's still waiting for that feather cutscene. He takes a little damage from the bird. He now can't take a hit from the spikes, but he makes it in very cleanly on the first attempt. Now here comes the Dew's try.
Dedew grabbing the energy. We'll be doing a slightly different method. Dedew playing on controller. It looks like he's going for the 2-bird method, the tried and true. Bird position looks good, and he is through. Boy,
So basically no difference to the deficit again right here. Neither runner is really blinking. They're both just going at this same torrid pace that they've both been going. She's not apparently having energy for Ghost Door. Looks like he may have done a safety save that I looked away from in the middle of Sorrow. But he's into the charge jump tree. Yeah, there's a charge dash. Wow, okay, never mind. Whatever, it's fine. We're seeing the Terror Break set up on Dedew's side and now on Cheese's side. Possibly a little bit of time save there by Dedew as he's coming to the charge jump tree. We're going to see.
yeah, he coupled the, what is it? The save anywhere with the Ghost Door, so just saving a little bit of time there.
Now he takes the save right under that barrier, which is normally intended to be stomped from above, but he's going to charge jump it from below. Using Terror Break, he takes a death, and they are dying at the same time.
And just
and
like
Dedew
that.
has the lead.
They're
Oh my
both,
goodness.
okay, they're both through the cycles. Oh man, we're tied, ladies and gentlemen. We
Yeah,
got a
they are
race.
floating up in sync. This is incredible. Cheese getting... So what happened there? Cheese got trolled a little bit first because he's got 5 health. So he actually had to take 2 hits on the spikes in order to be able to take the death that he needs to perform the Terror Break. And then he floated up into a laser. And if you die after the Terror Break before your next save, which is the Sunstone cutscene, you have to take the charge jump death again. And he still had 5 HP, so
Yeah.
he's still high.
Both runners successfully collected the Sunstone.
Oh, that's slightly better menu for Cheese, so he comes out ahead by 1 second, maybe.
Oh, but Cheese gets the optimal cycle and is back in the lead. Yes, dude.
Oh my goodness. And we're heading to Misty, and this is... Seeing a run tied as we enter Misty is just a huge treat, because now you're going to see every little thing in Misty is going to make a potential a difference. As now you're going to see a lot of stomp canceling, some very fast movement with charge dashes to do, having some incredibly clean movement at the start, setting even more of a deficit there for Cheese, but he gets the troll charge dash back to that other thing. Oh my goodness.
And Dedew did not place a safety save. Now, Dedew is watching the restream and knows how close he is to CheeseLover right now. I wonder if that's something he always does or a decision he made on the spot in order to get as much movement as he possibly can, using every available energy for charge dashes.
You see a stat popping up there on our screen. Cheese's average time reaching the climb tree 3 minutes faster than Dedew's, but Dedew has been just on an incredible pace of improvement as a player. And look at those Lucidus strats with the double jump just over the spikes. Beautiful movement. Dedew carrying this lead into the climb tree. Cheese right behind, and they are still absolutely neck and neck. Again, no major errors marring either of their runs right now.
That was a sub 25-minute climb tree for Dedew. CheeseLover so close behind. And man, Dedew is on PB pace by over 30 seconds.
Oh, he takes 2 damage there from that dropping slime, and that sets you up in the danger zone. We're going to see if he's going to opt for a safety save here.
He's going for it, man.
Oh my goodness. You got to have some of this, you know, the bravery in order to win a tournament race like this, and he knows. Drops a safety save there, that's totally fine. There's a couple charge dashes that you can do uncancelled here to burn an energy and save a little time, but he opts to replace one of those with a save. Really good decision on his part. And Cheese, for his part, so far, I have not seen any safety saves, but he hasn't taken any damage either.
This has been an insane Misty so far for Dedew. You know, they got to the climb tree at almost the same time. Dedew's just been multiplying his lead. I mean, His movement has been incredible through here.
And he's dropping the safety save that he needs, and Cheese took a little bit of damage from the dropping slime in a previous corridor. He did also drop a safety save before the big spike pit there. And he's going for the rocket jump, which is a mostly KDM only strat. It was a little bit short. Dedew on the mini boss, just a little trouble getting a clean kill, but he gets it on the second try.
What did Cheese take a step?
Oh no, that's going to set him back to the left side of the spike pit here. Fortunately, again, that safety save coming in handy, and it saves him from a much worse time loss, but definitely not what he needs right now. And his rocket jump, same problem, just a little bit short there. So it's not getting him the speed that he needs. And oh no, the spaghetti's picking up. Take energy, Cheese.
Okay, he's still got a little bit of energy left. Just enough for the mini boss. Oh, took a hit. Oh, the bash.
Okay, he's fine. Everything's fine. Ooh, boy, Dedew is 37 seconds ahead of his PB, and he is heading in to Blackroot Burrows to the grenade tree, the last skill of the game. And there's not much runway left for Cheese, so he's going to basically have to hope for some form of mistakes from Dedew, and that could be door warp misses or grenade jump failure. But boy, at this point in a race like this, you really don't want to see something like that come into play, but that would sure make it a lot closer.
Okay, Dedew gets the nice perfect dash glide over the cutscene trigger. No more cutscenes for him. And will now be picking up my grenade at a really, really solid time, 27:45. Wow.
Yeah, so to give you guys an idea, the remaining segments of the game, Dedew will need to head to Mount Horror, which takes about a minute and a half, and he will need to finish the game, which takes about 2 minutes. It's 3.5 minutes. From 27:45, he is on low 31 pace, which would be a nearly minute worth of PB for him. So we'll see if he's able to do that. She's having a very tough time here. He gets cut off. Oh, he's gonna take a death to the Yoka laser. That is gonna set him back even further. Not what he can afford right now, and it's gonna make it very hard for him. He now basically has to hope for a grenade jump soft lock for Dedew, but he is now on the second try able to make it in. Oh gosh, that
going for the
dash.
backup with the Bane link, but he destroys the Bane link. Okay.
Oh my goodness.
This jump can be a little finicky. You need to get just in range of the bird in order to charge dash to it. If you're too low, it won't lock on. Just go face plant with the spikes. Dedew not going for the 6 health. Probably comfortable with 5. I'm not sure what his standard route is, whether to get all 6 health cells or just going for 5. But man, he is on a killer pace here. We'll get an update for you as he enters Horror.
Well, given that he's watching his opponent and still opted not to take the 6th health despite knowing that he is significantly ahead of Cheese, or possibly he's nervous and he just stopped looking. Hobbs providing some insight for us. Cheese not able to get the rocket jump off that Frankie, and here comes Dedew's door warp attempt, and he isn't able to be consistent at it because it's not possible for a human to do that. So 2 tries so far and isn't getting it. She's gonna need a lot more of these though.
That's
3rd
3.
try,
Oh,
still
no.
not it.
4th try. Every one of these gives Cheese an opportunity to catch up even further. That's 5.
Oh gosh, no, this is the absolute worst, dude. At this point in your run, to be on PB pace and have door warp of all things wall you, Cheese has a huge opportunity right now to get back in this if Dedew can't get it soon, and he's still having trouble with it. Oh my goodness.
And Cheese skipped that health cell, but that's because he picked up the extra one. Okay, Dedew's
There
got
it is! Just the final escape left for Dedew. That is going to put a serious damper on his PB potential, but at this point in a tournament race in the bracket stage, really, the main goal is win the frickin' race. And Dedew is on pace to do that. Cheese has got to hope for some more mistakes by Dedew in the escape. And Cheese's door warp rate, not all that good either. So we're gonna see whether that's able to work out for him as Dedew begins the final escape.
And not first try. Oh man, I really hope Cheese doesn't also stun with the 10th try door.
Oh gosh. Alright.
3rd try.
As Dedew is coming upon the 5 HP swim, and this is really what Cheese is hoping for. Dedew needs to make it through here very quickly.
And he does.
with only 4 damage, and now for a grenade jump. And Dedew knows Cheese is close behind him. He does not necessarily know how much that time difference is, but he's going for the grenade jump. There's the aim. The input's not on the first time. He's got a couple more opportunities. Just needs to be careful, line up the right position, get the right aim. He's taken all the time he needs.
Come on, Cheese. Come on, dude. Come on. Okay,
There's the input. There it is. Dedew will take the race over CheeseLover with the grenade jump finish, and that time will be practically tied with his PB fan.
I hope it's not tied and is just a little bit. We'll get an update for you as Dedew does all that's left to do, holding right. And quick, bring your attention to CheeseLover screen on the left. He nails the first try grenade jump. Wow, this was a really close race.
My goodness. Yeah, and you know, it became a lot closer than it looked like it was going to be. Thanks to the door warp shenanigans, she's able to take a little bit of advantage of Dedew's problems, but unfortunately not enough. As Dedew will finish up with a PB and the victory in this race. 32 minutes and 8 seconds. GG, Dedew.
Amazing. What was Dedew's old PB?
32-12.
Man, if Dedew continues to play as well as he's shown us today, I think we're going to be seeing a fantastic time from him in the near future.
I agree. His play in this race was incredible. The only thing that marred his run at all, really, was those door warp failures. And it's like, I mean, you know, door warp's part of the run, but at the same time, like, if you lose a bunch of time in a run to door warp, you don't feel like, oh, I screwed up personally. It's just, it happens sometimes to everybody. And meanwhile, Cheese is able to finish up with a 32-33, which is also a fantastic time. Cheese maybe going to be a little bit upset with himself because, you know, instead of getting walled and delayed by stuff like door warp, he unfortunately took some damage, a death, and that kind of set him behind and made it hard for him to take the victory here.
Okay, there we see, you know, brackets updated. LostDedew will be facing the winner of the Stymon. I can never pronounce all these names right. Stymon. All right, there we go. And Trojan Dude, CheeseLover, still in the tournament, will be facing the winner of Zephyros or Mad Insane. But man, you know, like we were saying at the beginning of this match, anybody in this top 4 could have taken. We saw just that here today. You know, CheeseLover came in as the #1 seed in this division, and you know, Dedew just put on a really impressive performance.
That is absolutely the case, and you know, it just shows you how ridiculously good this division is, the near division. Stymon and Trojan, again, both absolutely frightening competitors, but Dedew showing today, he has the you know, he has the possibility of opening up in just a ludicrous PB. He was on pace 41 seconds ahead of his PB at the door to Mount Horu, and it was really only door warp that prevented it from being a much larger, I guess a couple issues with grenade jump, but those two things, like, just preventing it from being a much larger PB. But that 31 seems real soon for Dedew.
Indeed, you know, we have Dedew here. Let's bring him in. Dedew, congratulations on your victory. You know, I just want to start out. You said you were watching the match, and you don't do that too often. You know, how were you feeling, like, seeing CheeseLover, seeing how close you were behind, like, the entire race? Were you still keeping up and keeping track of your opponent the whole time?
Well, I know that Cheese has an insane early game, like until, like, probably Stomp. He's faster than my sum of best even. So I was expecting him to walk away in the early game and probably catch up in the late game, and that's kind of how it was.
Boy, I'll say. Well, we are also joined by CheeseLover, so we'll kind of interweave some questions between the two of you, because as Dedew just pointed out, Cheese, your early game is absolutely ludicrous, and you managed to come in today with an almost sub-12 enter Ginso, which is incredibly impressive. You know, how did you feel going through the early game here, And as you went on, did that possibly make you more nervous as you went, or anything like that?
Yeah, well, my PB has my best Interginso time of 12:01, and I got a 12-minute exactly according to live split. So like my heart was beating so fast. And I was so focused on that like I'd kind of like forgotten about the race, and then I like screwed up in Ginso, and it just went all downhill from there. But yeah, I'm still happy that I got my best ever Interginso time, I guess.
I mean, it was incredibly impressive. Like, we were both just, as I was saying, like, even for me, like, just watching all the times you were getting were basically times that I look for on my PB attempts. So that was really something. Dedu, of course, in the late game is where you were able to pull away and first take the lead all the way up at the Terra break, which is a very fascinating place for a lead change to happen. But then continuing to the end, and so we got to the point in Mount Horu, in Horu Field specifically, where you did not take the 6th health, and I just wanted to talk about that. And is that part of your normal PB attempts where you do or do not take that 6th health? And did you think at all about taking it because you were ahead of CheeseLover by enough, or did you think, no, I'm just playing my game?
Well, I never take that 6 health. Like even PB attempts and races, I'm comfortable enough for the swimming section. Because I know if I do the right movement that I'm perfect for the fish cycle, and I'm comfortable doing it with 5 HP. And knowing that I won't die. It still happens from time to time, but it's pretty rare.
Did you, by the same token, did you give any thought to skipping grenade jump?
A bit, but I'm pretty consistent at it usually, so I didn't. And I saw he was pretty close behind, so I wanted to go for it. I don't know if I would have won if I didn't do it. Probably not.
The final difference was what, like 25 seconds? So yeah, I guess
25 seconds.
Maybe
Yeah,
if I
he was
hadn't
there.
done like the 3 attempts, I would have been enough.
And still terrifyingly close, though, man. So, Dedu, your next match, you're going to be facing the winner of the Steinman 456 and Trojan Dude 12. Both very, very scary opponents.
One of
who
whom
would
you
like
already
to face?
played.
Oh yeah, you faced Trojan Dude, right?
Yeah, I really lost. I was expecting to like get a good early game, but then I lost it at Swamp. I was disappointed, but I'm still happy I got a 35, which is fine.
Would you be looking for in your next match? Would you be hoping for a rematch with Trojan, or would you rather face off against Steinman?
I would love to play against Trojan again, but I probably will play against Trojan or Steamon, like in the bracket anyway. Like in the upper bracket or in the lower bracket, we will probably end up facing each other.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Actually, even if you lose your next match, regardless of whoever makes it, I guess you'll probably likely play the loser of that match, or whatever. I don't know. Brackets are weird. And going back to you, Cheese, of course, now you go down to the lower bracket, so your margin of error now is you can't lose any more games or you're out of the tournament. How, if at all, will that affect how you approach, your upcoming matches? Of course, your next one won't be until Matt Insane and Zephyrus play, and you'll play the winner of that. But does that change anything about your mentality going forward or how you'll approach the tournament?
I don't think too much. I mean, if it was a major upset, this loss, it probably would have got to me. But I mean, Dedu's PB at the time is only like a minute behind mine, and he PB'd in this race, so I feel like I got a relatively decent race under my belt. So forward thinking the same thing. I just can't lose again, I guess.
Yeah, I will totally echo that. Your performance tonight was really solid. And because Dedu was able to put on just an incredibly solid one, he was able to edge you out. But Fant, if you got any final thoughts for our runners tonight?
No, I think all that said has been said. once again, Dedew, congratulations on your victory, and Cheese, good luck to you in the rest of the bracket stage here.
All right, well, that is gonna wrap us up for tonight, or today, or this morning. I don't know, whatever. It could be Sunday, it might be Monday, it might be Saturday. I don't know. Time zones don't make any sense, but whatever. Next match we've got coming up for you is Grimelios versus Fluffy Prower, and we're gonna be having that at 2 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, EDT. So if you are in a different part of the world and you need a time zone conversion, make sure you type EDT into your handy little time zone converty thingy. But until then, 9 hours from now, by the way, according to our stats folks. Thank you. But until then, we're going to call it a night. Fant, thank you so much for joining tonight. It was a pleasure commentating with you.
Yeah, no problem. And definitely, if you're in the US, don't forget to change the time on your clocks.
Or, get any device from like the 21st century that just automatically.
Oh, come on. People still have clocks. Whether it's on the microwave or on the oven or,
Wait, you don't have like an internet-enabled microwave? Please.
Why would I ever need an internet-enabled any kitchen appliance? We don't live in San Francisco, Village.
Thank God. I mean, I like all parts of the country and world. Anyway, let's all, adjourn to our various beds and or not beds, and have a good day. But thank you to, of course, again, Fant, as well as our stats folks tonight, Griffs and Shed, and our restreamer Hobbs, for all of their awesome work tonight, coming to you at this, for most of us, ludicrous time of the mid-morning. So have a good night, and GG.
Damage as they head through. So, ooh, nice job. And wow, Yoko. Oh,
No, Yoko. Oh my goodness.
Please be careful.
He hasn't taken any really bad deaths as result, but
Oh no.
no! Why did I say that? Why did I say that?
Yeah, true shade. So we're gonna see what Dedew decides to do. Nice safety save there, and wow, the value from the safety save.
The trick itself requires precisely positioning a frog and managing your XP, but because that can happen, because that frog has a chair and it can stomp it right on your tiny little head.
Oh God, Milton, get out of there!
Holy crap, the recovery from that.
It's deceptive. Ooh, deceptively difficult. Rufus.
Holy
so
crap, Rufus.
Oh,
Oh God.
Fix it.
And what is happening now?
I don't know.
Oh, Monkey's shot going through.
Oh, Cheese missed the double bash though. He's gonna go back up. Monkey's shots are basically worth it. I hope he does not get that on the upper one. Cheese has broken his swamp.
Monkey getting hit by the shot.
Metal that Terra did. Oh, missing that, but he's got the backup. That's okay. Oh my gosh.
Oh God.
Terra. Oh my gosh. Okay, try again. This time you can get to the point.
What you've seen from runners like Lucidus, Uncle Ronnie, and Eviona so far in the tournament, and oh wow,
Bam.
I do not know how he survived.
Both runners getting that fifth.
Oh, Randomson had a really... Wow, what a nice backup, though. Randomson had trouble with the first spider shot, but now it's basically tied.
Go stomp the rocks. And
Fluffy,
I
what
didn't know you could do that.
Oh,
You really just keep moving and skip that cutscene?
Oh God, Hori's in the air! Hello!
Oh no. Oh, Frankie. Frankie, please go away. Oh, that is so painful.
Oh, this is a party. Luckily, he does have a safety.
Yeah, mini boss not quite going according to plan. Melvin's gonna go with the stomp spam. Keep that frog away. Get out of here. Don't hit me with your chair. He says he gets through it okay, and we'll be just finishing up Misty.
The section is really difficult with the 5 health. Alright, he gets the bash off of the fish. So yeah, he gets through, but upcoming here is
He's gone through!
Oh, he died! Death! Richard is in the lead. No, they're tied. Richard just died as well. This is literally synced in the final escape, guys. Unbelievable.
They both stopped the thing together.
See if you can get the grenade jump here.
This is a
Also,
precise position. And a frame perfect input. Cubby is coming into his swim right now, but Grim has a few seconds.
No!
Misses the input.